This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
My friend.
What's up, 24/7 K-Gun family? This is Swank. You're looking at Season 3, Episode 13 of the K-Gun Report. We're talking about all the breaking news from the Buffalo Bills today. We're talking about that defensive dream team, drought era nonsense that we had up on all of the polls and stuff on Twitter. We're talking with Mr. Brent Thompson over here. Welcome back, brother. Get to cracking. That is goddamn right. Let's hit this intro and get into it.
This is a dangerous group.
What's up, everybody? As I said, I am Swank. And with me tonight, as always, are the ridiculous Reed twins. We got Mr. Scott Reed right over here.
Hey, I put out a poll earlier this week, Swank. What would people rather drink out of? Frosty mug it is today.
How frosty is that mug? How long you had it sitting on the counter?
It's just 2 minutes too late, I'm telling you.
And then right here below me, we got Jittery Jarrod Reed right here. Ooh, sniffing out of it. Look at that.
A little
Fancy.
bit of a nice glass here. I like to pour mine into a pint glass, but we got a aromatherapy glass tonight, so I could smell what I'm drinking.
Well, hell.
Cheers to you. Go Bills!
Cheers to you guys, man. Yeah, sorry for the little delay. I hope that we're all good everywhere. Facebook was being a little funky, but it looks like we got all of our favorites here commenting from Facebook, so they must be seeing something. We got Joshua Williams. We got Josh Cook. What's up, buddy? We got
guys?
Tony Lano, Debbie Emerton, Lady Bills.
What's up, Lady Bills? Scott Reed's here with us.
Oh, we got Scott Reed. What's up? We got a new viewer, Tony Hatch, over on YouTube land. What's up? Welcome.
Tony!
Cheers, Tony. Welcome.
Oh, and we got the big buff himself, Mr. Buffalo Spartan.
This is Sparta!
What? Nicely done. Let's see. Debbie says the tower on my kegerator sprung a leak, drinking out of tall boy cans. Well, you got to do what you got to do.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Hey,
Don't
if you
worry,
drink 'em
Debbie.
fast
I
enough-
got you. I got you here for the second one here. My on decker's a focal banger. That's a tall
Yep,
boy.
you drink them fast enough, they don't get cold, right?
Brent says had to slow down on my beer, so shooting tequila.
It's a great option. Good switch over. Brent, it's good to see you again, man.
Oh, Tony's Joey Hatch's wife.
Oh, welcome, Tony. There
Hey.
you go.
Nice to see you.
Joey loves our show. We love Joey, and awesome. Welcome.
I mean, welcome.
Mhm.
All right, fellas and ladies and everyone here at the K-Gun Report. I realized I put up the last 3 episodes of this season are now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, anywhere that you listen to podcasts. And I was listening through them, and since I've taken over these duties and like introduced you guys, I'm like, oh yeah, right over here is Scott, and right below me, and I got to do like some little like byline in the beginning of it, like, and thanks to all of the people that are listening to the audio version of the show. So thank you guys, and just imagine that you know where I'm pointing. That'll be great.
Over there and up there.
Yeah, over there, up there. Let's talk about what we got going on. These OTAs are wrapping up here this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got some big old mandatory mini camp news. Our boy, your friend, the safety for the ages, Mr. Underrated, he is that man. Mr. Jordan Poyer showed up, and not only showed up, participated.
That was the question, Swank. He's going to be there. He's going to participate.
Could you hear that earlier today? Like right around 10 o'clock, like there was this big wind coming from Buffalo. It was just everybody like exhaling.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Our boy.
There are a lot of
Jordan. Go ahead, buddy.
There are a lot of fans. There are a lot of fans out there too saying, yeah, he'll show up, but he's not going to participate. And that was like a very common thing to see today on our Facebook page, but on all social media platforms too. I think a lot of people like to put the bare minimum on things, right? Yeah, he'll show up. He's not going to participate. And if whatever he does extra, it's just going to make you happy. So I know like some fans like to approach games even like that, but to have our guy there present in the person and participating, just I hope makes those people very happy, because it makes us very happy.
Mm-hmm.
I heard this great thing on WGR about it today, right? And I agree with you. I think that like a lot of people try to like promote themselves by putting out these buzzy, trendy, worrisome things, and you go right to the negative, right to the bottom of the pile. He's going to show up, but he's not going to participate. Nobody really knew that. I mean, even with Schefter today or yesterday coming out with that report, yeah, great. Like everybody felt easy about it. He's a reliable source. Like 9 times out of 10, he's right. But that didn't mean that he was gonna be there. It's just like the drought thing, right? Where I say like I had to see those numbers hit 0. As Bills fans, we need to see it. Seeing is believing in Buffalo. So Sale saw him. He was there. He was
And we
happy.
believed him.
He was working, and man, I'm so glad for that. That's just a little bit of that drama that's out. They also said his new agent, has worked with the Bills forever, like Willis McGahee days. He was T.O.'s agent back in the day. He's got a really good relationship with the Buffalo Bills. I mean, this is a good sign that things are going in a good direction, Yep. Wouldn't you guys say so?
I agree. The guy signed a 2-year, $19.5 million contract 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago. So he's in it. I really didn't worry because it was a 2-year. If it was a 5-year contract, maybe towards the end of it you start working something out. But it was only 2 years, so you had to have known that he wasn't going to bluff on his last year. It's just one of those things that he does want more money. He wants the conversation to continue. He wants it to progress towards where he wants it and where his wife wants it. As if they're married, so they probably are talking about it together along with their agents. So I had a feeling. I knew he was going to show up to camp. I know he's going to play. It's just one of those things you have to do. And it may be just the amount of years, or maybe amount of guaranteed money that just needs to be finagled a little bit to have him commit for a longer period of time. But I'm not too worried about it right now.
Yeah. They were saying he's a captain. He loves to play. You know, I mean, it probably killed him not to come. You know, but I don't think there was any way he was missing this. And it's easy to say that in hindsight, but you know, I'm just really glad he's there. Really quick, Patrick Hughes said, joining on YouTube, can't get the live video on Facebook to work this week. So I don't know what's going on out there. I'm really sorry for anybody that's been trying to get on Facebook for whatever reason. It is streaming, but some people can't get on. Scott and I got on fine. Jarrod couldn't get on. So I apologize for that. And, you know, there's YouTube, there's Twitch, there's Twitter, and you can catch up on it after, but we sure gonna miss, like, we noticed like half the viewers fell off just because.
Yeah, I'm on it. Yeah.
So
it's algorithms, Swank.
Could be, man.
Hold on. Yeah. So that's what's going on is because I just switched my phone. My phone's YouTube my phone's Facebook works, but my computer's Facebook does not. And then when I go to the website, it has actually our live feed on the top left. When I select it, it comes down and says it's over. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Weird.
Well, we're sorry for that. I can't really end it right now if it is getting out to some of you guys. I mean, there's people that are interacting with us, so it's got to be going. If not,
yeah, I know Debbie, Josh, Joshua Williams, Brent, Debbie, Buffalo Spartan. You guys are on Facebook. Leave us another message just to confirm that you guys are rolling. Okay.
Yeah, and we're gonna keep going with the show like it's normal. And yeah, like I said, if there's any other problems, there's 3 other feeds, and it seems to be working great over there. So, again, sorry, Patrick, for the mishap and the confusion, but we're glad that you popped on YouTube.
Well, thanks, Scott, Patrick. You're giving us more views on YouTube too, which is nice.
Yeah, Scott, I was gonna say, Scott, if you can, if you're able to jump on the group and just say Facebook isn't working, watch us live on YouTube. If you can. I mean, I don't want to push you.
I have a question. Why couldn't you just do that?
Because,
anyway, Jarrod, did you hear any of these press conferences that happened today?
I did.
Go ahead. Lead the way, my man.
So I was excited about both of them. But what I'm most excited for, I think Von Miller said all the right things. He was out there saying all the right things, but I want to go to, actually, I'll focus on Von Miller because I know you guys, especially Scott, wants to get on Josh Allen. He said all the right things. We knew he was coming into Buffalo to not only play the position, but to help everyone around him. And we knew that's what he did with the Rams. He said that he had his little camp there. He calls it a summit and not a camp, because he's not there to teach people per se or teach techniques. He's there to share techniques and get techniques and tricks of the trade from other players as well. They're there to learn from each other. Again, I was thinking about, as he's saying this, do you want to tell them everything about, how to beat somebody? Of course they do. They want the defense to be able to be dominant because that's what they play. Regarding who you play against, or regarding Josh Allen as your quarterback on your side, is a different story. These guys are out here to get paid, and defensive guys usually back up each other full go. So I think that was very fun to listen to. The 200 mark, he said that right off the bat without any hesitation, aiming for 200, maybe 201. Everybody that's a sack master knows that number. Our almighty Bruce Smith, Swank's guy there, his favorite NFL player ever, holds that record for 200. And I don't know if you all know this, but they didn't start counting sacks until like 1970s, maybe the late 70s or early 80s. And so Bruce Smith's number is always, it's always been in question, right? They actually went back and they figured out sack numbers through all the players at the beginning of the time. And Bruce Smith still led the way he leads by 20, at least 20. So 200 is the mark. I don't think Von Miller would hit that 200 mark. You never know if what science brings, but I hope he gets pretty damn close to it. But yeah, like I said, Von Miller said all the right things, and it was fun to listen to him. He's excited, and can't ask for anything more. He's there to teach. He calls G, Greg Russo, G. Hey, G. Yeah, me and G. So I love that too. So he's becoming part of that family, part of the locker room, and it's fantastic things, guys. And I was thinking about defensive MVP for Von Miller. Depending on his numbers, if he goes crazy this year, he will could possibly get it. but we have to look deeper into his defensive MVP. It's not necessarily going to be numbers, but is what he brought to the education of that defense and what he brings to those young players. And that might be, at the end of the day, the MVP motion right there is his education and his tutorial to all the young bucks in the defense. So Von Miller is the guy.
Yep.
Yeah, he was very humble. Like he's not one of those, like, as flashy as like he might appear to come off. He's like so sensible, and the thing that stuck out the most to me during his press conference was how he said guys taught him. He learned from all these guys, these coaches, these players, and they were nice enough to pass off information to him, and all he's doing is paying it forward. You know what I mean? He didn't claim any credit for anything that he was teaching these guys. It was all just paying it forward from other people, and I thought that's a classy ass thing to do, you know, because he has every right in the world to be like, I'm the best, you know, if I'm not the best, you tell me who is, you know. And I just think, man, he's so good for this team. Like, they could not have found a better fit at that position in a veteran presence.
And from where you're going, Swank, I love the fact that one of the questions that was asked is Peyton Manning, arguably the best quarterback in the NFL history, said that you're the best athlete that he's ever seen. And Von Miller responds is, yeah, he's right. And I thought that was awesome. Yeah. And going off of him paying it forward, that's an awesome thing that he's offering. He did have one selfish moment, and he committed, and he admitted to it, as he said, you know, I want to be the first player in NFL history to make 3 Super Bowls and win it on 3 different teams. And so, hey, it is what it is. You know, it's a team game, but you got to have your own goals as well. And that's an awesome one to have. If he gets 14.5 sacks a year for the next 6 years, he will beat Bruce Smith. 14.5 is a magic number.
That's a tall ask. But
it sure is.
Let's go 21, 17, 8. Let's do that.
No, that was some quick math.
I'm off, Swank. Add that up. I'm off. So
drink. So we also had press conferences from Josh Allen, Sean McDermott.
Yep.
Go ahead, Scott. I know you've been chomping at the bit. What do you got for Josh?
You know, the first thing I like to say is anytime a guy in the news or media asks the question comparing what do you like better or what do you find better here or who do you prefer, all these players have the same reaction is I'm not gonna start that conversation.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna answer that question because it's only gonna be problems. But the Josh Allen conversation, he is comfortable. You know, you take year 1, year 2, year 3, and you start listening to the way he's talking in his conferences. The guy is confident. There was something that hit with him in the Kansas City game last year where now you know, wow, this guy is comfortable. He's confident. He's saying all the right things. And one of the things I took out of this interview was his conversation about Ken Dorsey. They're keeping the plays the same. They're keeping the play calls the same. Everything is familiar except a different voice in the headphones and the different thought process between plays being called. And that's what's exciting about this offense. And this is exactly what we said Ken Dorsey would bring to the table. He's not going to change a lot. He's only going to bring his own philosophy into it, which is going to be if Ken Dorsey starts getting a little excited or a little crazy, he's going to have to calm him down and vice versa. It's going to work both ways. But these guys have developed such a relationship that I really, guys, you keep all the plays. You not only you're not stalled on the playbook. You keep all the same play calls and plays. You can advance that playbook to be even greater. So the sky's the limit for these two as an offensive coordinator and quarterback. I can't wait.
Yeah, I thought it was great, and I like your take on it. You know, of course, and we haven't addressed this yet, but he started off. I think all 3 of them started off professing like their condolences for the Pagula family and thoughts and prayers and all that good stuff. And obviously Kim had some sort of like very unknown, very recent health issue that she had to be hospitalized for, and that's about all the information they have. So hopefully, you know, everything works out, and we're thinking of her, and you know, she sure as hell has done a lot for this community and this team, and not just the Bills but the Sabres. So you know, we're thinking of her, and hopefully everything turns out all right.
Yep, for sure.
Brent Thomason said, same verbiage. Dug that. Absolutely, man. I thought it was super interesting that he said that certain words can sound like other words when other people say them. Like that's some insider shit that like you don't get privy to. And I thought that was a really cool comment. And it's true. I mean, everybody's got a different cadence to their voice. Everybody's got a different dialect, a different accent, whatever. Nobody thinks they have an accent. Brent Thomason doesn't think he has an accent. You know what I mean?
Well, unless you're playing in Foxborough, Swank, because no one can hear you in the headphones there because they turn it off during very important parts of the
Well, it's
game.
wicked loud there.
Wicked.
Wicked
We
loud.
lost sound. We can't call the play. Belichick. Ooh, perfect.
I love about Josh Allen's his little presser there was they asked the question about Tavon Austin and how he's been acclimating himself to the game. And he said he's right behind me during the play calls. He's jogging out with the receivers and lining up behind him. He's I think what they call him, a pros pro, a real pro of the game. So regardless of what you think of Tavon Austin and if he's going to make the team or not, or why he's there, he's trying like hell. And hopefully he has that little bit more oomph in his career that he makes a difference. And it's going to be interesting to see in late August, early September, if he's still on that team where we think he's going to land. So whatever, like we always say, whatever 53 lands is what we're going to root for. But that was my favorite things is him mentioning Tavon Austin.
Well, it's funny. Sometimes in camps, even if you go to when spring training starts or the regular camp there at St. John Fisher, some players do that. They get the most out of the reps. You'll see someone punt returning during 7-on-7 or whatever it is, live action, and you'll see one of the other guys fighting for the position 5 yards back, tracking the ball, doing the same exact thing. Tavon Austin is making the most out of his reps. He wants to get everything game time familiar, and that you'll see a lot of the pros actually doing that. Some of the younger guys they have to develop that trait, but some of the guys that have been around the league, they put themselves as close to the actual action as they can.
I don't think there's really a question that he makes the team. Do you guys think that's in the air?
That seventh wide receiver spot. I think that's now. The thing is you can't load your team full of slot receivers. So right now they have Isaiah McKenzie, Marquez Stevenson, and then Tavon Austin, and even Shaquille Khalil will be one of those guys. So there's 4. Who's going to be your outside guys? I know Khalil can play that boundary wide receiver, but you don't want to have 7 receivers on your roster and have 5 of them be your slot receiver backup. So I don't know. See,
I think Stevenson's on the outside looking in now.
Okay.
That's where I'm at with it. I think Tavon Austin gives them that security as a return man that they don't have right now. Right. And like we said a couple shows ago, we don't want Micah back there. We don't want people torching off on Micah. He's getting older. He makes the right decisions. It's exciting. It can be what it can be, but we don't want him back there.
And there's that little chance, right, Swank? He could fair catch every damn punt there is. But if there's a chance where he wants to take it, that's what we don't want. Yeah. Even though he could spark and go big.
Yeah, I mean, we got to remember that Miami game where he did the turn in the air and took it in all the way. I mean, right. That was amazing. But anyway,
anywho,
we should get moving on to some things here, boys.
We got some things.
I got one thing that we need to address before we get into this defensive drought dream team.
Mm-hmm.
For the last 3 weeks now, we've been profiling a demonium fan profile, and this week it was Marie Mofford.
Thank you, Marie.
I think it's this way.
Yeah, you're right. It is.
Yeah, there you go. Marie, again, we say OG, we throw that around, but she's been with us for the 3 years we've been doing this, always participating, whether it's on the K-Gun report or even on the pages. So a big, huge supporter. We love her. She wears our stuff proudly because I know she's got a little bit of merch over there. And, we couldn't thank you guys enough. Marie, thank you very much.
Hell yeah. We got Lisa and John Johns. They just tuned in. They were Fandemonium Fan Profile last Tuesday.
Yeah.
They said, hey, guys, don't hurt Micah.
Nope. Lisa's favorite player is Micah Hyde.
Yeah.
Tony Hatch says, "Oh, sorry, real fast." Tony Hatch says,
Marie Monfort, I think she's actually won quite a bit of our giveaways too. So,
oh yeah,
she participates in everything, and we love her. She's always leaving her comments and her 2 cents, and those 2 cents we love. So, yeah, Fandemonium fan profile, Marie, thank you.
Absolutely, we love you tons, and thanks so much for all the support. And if you have somebody you want to nominate for the Fandemonium fan profile, hit us up, let us know. We love all you guys, and this is just our way of showing that. So thank you again, and Marie, you are the best.
Simply the best.
Tony Hatch says there's a chance a couple people that we sign this season will not be here till the season starts. Some of them will not be good enough. We will only keep the cream of the crop, and you're absolutely right.
What a wonderful problem to have.
I know. We've been saying it for the last couple seasons now. There are going to be people on this team that you like that are not going to make this team, and it happens every year. Do you remember any of the people that they were last year, boys?
Do I remember any of the people that we didn't think was going to get cut last year?
Any of the people that got cut that we were like, oh.
No?
Do you remember any of those names? Exactly. That's where you're going to be this time next year, too. John Brown, sure. No, but it took you
a minute.
Couple minutes to remember that, because all you remember is getting into that divisional playoff round, you know. So as much as we love our people and our Bills, it's for the better of the team. We got huge belief in this front office and coaching staff, so we're going to keep it flowing like that.
You see Buffalo Spartans comment?
Not yet. Let me see. We have Spartan, Lady Bills, and the Buffalo Fandalorian all watching. Yeah, what's up, guys?
Love those guys that are super fans. They have a legit awesome place to visit during the game time, guys. But check out A Shout for a Cause Inc. is also a charity of charity, a wonderful establishment that they've got going there. Awesome. Welcome.
We're going to have to hit up a little rundown of the Rager here, too. Scott and I are getting together on Thursday to kind of finalize some posters and events and all that stuff. So I'm hoping by Friday we'll have an event out, you think?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's do it.
We'll get all this out to you and into the world. We got Robbie. Let's Talk 716 Sports. Hey, Scott and gang, go Bills. Hey.
What's up, Robbie?
Hey.
Robbie's a big bowler, guys. He shoots like low 200s, mid 200s.
Really?
That's crazy. I know.
We got to get him hooked up with Chrissy.
I've seen his old man is a teacher of the bowling, so naturally Rob would pick it up, and he's kicking ass and taking names. Man. So good job, Robbie.
He's one hell of a Madden player too. If you ever watch him live playing Madden, he does a pretty damn good job doing that too. Keep it going, Robbie.
Yeah, Fandalorian says he's at a concert, so he can't keep listening. But have a great show. We're waiting.
New Kids on the Block, they're still playing.
I think so. We got Uncle James saying we got beautiful problems in there in the Buffalo roster right now, and that's a beautiful way to put it.
There you go.
Swank started saying a couple of years ago, there's going to be players that we like that you're going to see, not make the team, and it's sad, but it's a good problem to have. If you want to have success in this league, you gotta, keep getting better. So,
I think the way I want to look at it, like going forward, is that we are breeding good players that can be successful. Not just here, but elsewhere, right? And if you feel bad about that even, you can look at Jordan Phillips. Jordan Phillips was the best version of himself here. He went to Arizona, got hit with the injury bug. Now he's back home.
Yep.
And I'm thinking he's gonna eat. So even when they go away, whatever. I think it's nice that they can go get paid elsewhere. Even if they don't fit or something comes up. There's so much competition and talent on this team right now. What are you going to do? Excuse me.
We burped at the same time. Jinx.
Aw. Both so cute. Cool. The three of us are so cute.
Time for a different show, but this defensive line is going to be sick. Maybe we'll talk defensive line one of these days. But, guys, This defensive line is built to stop the run and put the quarterback on their ass. And I do want to throw this out here before we get going real quick.
Yep.
You know how Miami threw that image, that video out about Tua throwing it to Tyreek and it was underthrown?
Yeah.
I just saw a video that New York Jets actually put out. It was Wilson throwing the ball deep to Elijah Moore. But if you watch it, the line collapsed. He should have been sacked. He moved up in the pocket, can't touch him, threw it deep, caught it. It's like, come on, stop showing that nonsense. This Bills defensive line is going to destroy some AFC East quarterbacks this year.
Yeah.
Were we like that 5 years ago though? Were we like that 6-7 years ago?
I'll tell you what, man, and it's 8:30. We're gonna have to run through this defensive drought team like super fast because we got like 11 players instead of what did we do last week? 7, and we were like. Way behind.
We could talk fast. We got about 2 minutes a player, right?
Yeah, sure, something like that.
Okay, all right, let's do it.
Social media teams for the NFL right now are out of their minds. They're so good. Like there was never anything like this for us growing up. You know, I get excited when the Buffalo Bills social media team posts something because 9 times out of 10 it's funny or it's exciting or it's something I want to see. And that has never been the case ever. It's always just been informative, which was enough for me. I didn't know that I wanted this until this new edgy social media team came in, and they're not afraid to throw out mean tweets with Josh Allen, and they're not afraid to make fun of other teams, and they're not afraid to hype up the fan base and get people crazy. You know, I just think it's super, super fun. And Lady Bill says that the Bills organization is hiring for media content, so maybe we should put our applications in, boys.
There you go.
All right, so moving on. Tonight's main event. Last week, if you didn't see it, we did the offensive drought dream team. We went through all of the skill positions, and we picked the offensive line for you. But you guys voted on every skill position for the offense through the span of 2000 to 2016.
Yep.
And it was great. We had a great time. We went a little long on it. That's okay. I haven't made our overtime graphic yet, but it's coming, man. I was working real hard to try and get it done for this one.
Overtime!
But so this week we're doing defense, and we did every position. Well, you guys did every position.
We had to. There's so many options for the defensive positions that we had to do it.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So right here, right now, we're going to try and keep this pacing. If you got any comments, questions, concerns, you let us know. But to start it off, we're going defensive end. We're going with the big, the bad, Ted Washington. Boom. How could you get any better? You just can't. The guy's a wall of fury.
He's something fierce.
4-time Pro Bowler, 1 All-Pro, is a Super Bowl champ. This guy, when he came to Buffalo, he played for San Francisco before, but when he came to Buffalo, I tell you what, guys, you couldn't triple team him. And so I think he rightfully so deserves to be on this roster. 365 pounds at 6'5", man. Oh, man, this guy was a presence, and you couldn't do anything against him.
One of the funnest guys, absolutely, to watch during the drought. I mean, and I think people forget that he was in the drought era, you know, because he's just one of those names. If you're our age or a little older, everybody knows who Ted Washington was. Everybody knows that he was a bad dude. If you grew up in the Rochester, Finger Lakes area, you heard Brother Weeze talk about Big Bad Ted Washington all the time and how he's a monster. And, man, I just really loved watching that guy.
Yeah, he had. If you look, he was a monster up front, and he was selected out of a lot of big monsters. We had Pat Williams, Sam Adams, Marcus Stroud, Marcel Darius, who's more recent, but he's a guy. I didn't mention the other guy for a reason, but he's a guy that just had the motor. He was a big dude. He was a monster, and he was fun to watch. Number 92, just wreaking havoc up front, and paired up with this next guy. Who knows what would have happened if these two guys were together on the team? But Ted Washington was fun to watch.
Guys, 16 years in the league, 13 years he played 15 games or more. He was the best ability is availability, and he was there.
Hell yeah.
Ted.
And I misspoke. I'm sorry. I said DE. I meant DT. My bad. And here we go with the second one that you guys voted in, and of course you voted him in. The Godfather himself, Mr. Kyle Williams. Come on. I mean, how can you not? The dude had more heart, the best leader that this team's seen in 10 years, right? Can I be so bold as to say Kyle Williams led that defense for this whole time during the drought? And who didn't? Who has the cold black ice heart that didn't tear up when he was with his kids in the locker room and saw that they were going to the playoffs after Mr. Andy Dalton hooked us up? I mean,
Yeah, I hear you, Swank. And thanks for saying that, because I know a lot of guys will say the only reason we made the playoffs is because the Cincinnati Bengals did what they did. But the Bills still had to beat the Miami Dolphins. The Bills had to still play their part. And, we got to give credit to the Buffalo Bills. But this guy, I think his heart outweighs what he actually did, because what he actually did was pretty impressive too, guys. I think because he was such an emotional guy and a Buffalo Bills guy, I think it gets lost in the fact that the numbers the guy actually put up. He was a 6-time Pro Bowler. He made the Pro Bowl 6 times, and that just doesn't happen by accident. And he had a couple seasons where he had double-digit sacks as a defensive tackle. So we can't forget what Kyle Williams did on the field, and the leadership, the locker room presence, all that stuff help his cause. But because he was such an emotional guy, like I said, I think a lot of people think, well, he's just an emotional guy. He was a good presence there. No, he kicked ass too.
I don't know how many times you look up and you see him in the backfield. There's a stat out there that you never see is interruptions, right? Because he'd be in the backfield screwing up a run play and somebody else would be making the tackle. This guy had a motor on him. He had the heart. He had the work ethic. He had the commitment to the Buffalo Bills. 13 years for the Bills. That's the only team he ever played with. So I think that's another reason why we like to stick with him, is because he's shown his commitment to the community and the Bills organization. And he's a guy that you can't not mention when you're talking about defensive tackles. And yeah, Kyle Williams is a no-brainer. I knew when I saw his name going up there, I would vote for him. To be honest with you, I voted for Ted Washington too. He's a big beast, but
you just on it?
I'm 2 for 2 today.
Jarrod, he had 48.5 sacks, and let me look this up real quick. Tackles for loss, and this is a pretty impressive number, 103 in his career. And that's not including the disruptions in the backfield he caused.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, yep.
The longevity that this man had at his position at one team is completely unheard of. Completely unheard of nowadays. The way that players move team to team to team, there is just no one like him that stayed at one spot for all those years. Mm-hmm. You can't name one other player. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Outside of like quarterback. But now, I mean, look at what happened this year. Even QB isn't safe. Russell Wilson isn't a Seahawk. Mm-hmm. Right. But Kyle Williams, man, that I'd say that it was just a perfect fit, and he weathered the storm through all those coaches and GMs and scheme changes and everything else, and he was that one constant that was there through the whole thing. And man, I respect the hell out of him, and he was a hell of a player.
And you go back to the look on his face, and when his kids were there when they broke that playoff drought. I mean, we all felt it as a Mafia. We sure did, and that was an emotional time.
No doubt.
Moving forward, we're going to defensive end, and we have Mr. Aaron Shobes as the Fandemonium's first defensive end pick.
The Shobes.
The big Shobes. Go ahead, buddy.
Ooh.
This guy has 2 Pro Bowls. He should have had more. He had 4+ seasons with 10+ sacks. He is, I think, 3rd on the Bills' list of quarterback sacks with 78. And I think he's a little more than that. He's sacked Brady 14 times, which is more than anybody else in the NFL, which I absolutely love. This is a stat I love. High motor guy. Absolutely love Aaron Schobel. He deserves a lot more credit than he has, and it was awesome to watch him.
Yeah,
yep.
He was underrated, I think,
Mm-hmm.
by the rest of the NFL. Obviously, he got caught in that no man's land that was the Buffalo Bills for that era, and I appreciate him. It's kind of like he's like the Eric Moulds to me of the defense. You know what I mean? Like, very talented dude, kept people interested. You know, it was that era before like the Fitzies, the Stevies, the Freddies. You know, that was more of like an entertainment thing, and he was more like come in, whoop your ass, like just stuck in a bad situation. You know, and these defenses were good through all those years, but yeah, just a bummer, but a ton of respect for him.
That's the problem with not the problem, but throughout these, we had we knew the defense was going to be hard to select because of all these years that we had all these great players on offense. They never showed up on the same team at once, but the defense, fortunately enough, kept us in a lot of games. Our defense was ranked high through this drought, top 15, I think, every year. So it was hard to select each player throughout this whole thing, because especially in defense, because a lot of the defense was good throughout the whole era. So no, Aaron Schobel, definitely one of those guys that needs to be up there and deserving. Loved watching him.
So let's go a little more current with the Pandemonium's next pick, and it was one of the biggest free agent splashes that this team had in a long time. I would say he probably started that house of cards to fall, and that was Mr. Mario Williams. What say you guys?
He had cool eyes. Remember, he had the red eyes all the time. This guy was amazing. He played 4 years at Buffalo. He was a 4-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro. We brought him to Buffalo because of what kind of messes he could make in the backfield and on the quarterback. So he's another one of those guys who didn't really die down when he came over to Buffalo. He still produced. He still added pressure. He still was a run stopper, and he was still a presence. These Bills teams in the drought tried to bring players in that would make a spark, big name players, and Mario Williams definitely did. But sometimes it just wasn't enough, obviously, because it was a drought. But Mario Williams was one of those guys that we were excited to bring in. Good character, and he fly the ball and got to the quarterback, and when he did, it was fun to watch.
This is to me like one of those things, like the drought ending was. Like people always say, where were you when the drought ended, or where were you when whatever. I remember that this was such a big deal, that there were so many rumors, so much hype around this move before it happened. I was at work and I was glued to my phone, like trying to find out when he was going to sign, if he was going to sign, not believing that it was going to really happen. And this literally, all you guys remember, it was the biggest deal that the Bills had in a very long time. Like it was a monster of a move, and he got paid, and there was a lot of speculation about Ralph not wanting to pay players, and this just kind of blew it all out of the water. It was like you were saying, Jarrod, all the chips in, right? It's like when they drafted CJ Spiller. Just like for a while they were just throwing piles of money at one guy saying like change our luck, and Mario was that guy, and he was a nasty beast. I'm glad he was here. Too bad Rex Ryan tried to ruin him.
Swank, talking about coaches, that's a whole other show. Look at the amount of GMs and coaches the Bills have had in that drought. That's part of the reason why the locker room was the way it was. But going off Mario Williams, the 6-year, $96 million contract, that was unheard of. And the fact that Ralph Wilson was willing to pay someone that,
yeah,
and a lot of people forget. I've heard people say, I wish Mario Williams had the career in Buffalo he did at Houston. He actually had a better career in Buffalo sack-wise. A shitload of sacks. I think it was like 43 in 4 years. So he just got under 11 sacks per season. The guy was a tackle machine. He was a presence. He was a leader, and people feared him. And that was enough for that defense at that time. Unfortunately, as we alluded to last week, our offense just couldn't support what our defense was providing.
Yeah.
So Mario Williams was a great pickup. He was worth the money, but because we didn't make the playoffs, I think a lot of people are shunning that, but it is what it is. 11 sacks a season is pretty impressive, guys. And he was better than he was in Houston.
Oh, absolutely. Our dude, Mr. Ryan Thomas of the Thomas Takes Sports podcast, has tuned in. And
we miss you, Ryan, by the way. We miss you, man.
Yeah, man. I miss you so much. we got to get him on a K-Gun episode here, and we'll be starting up Sunday sessions probably once training camp pops open or preseason. Or, well, I don't know. Scott and I haven't decided that yet, I guess. But
Is this a decision we're making right now? Let's do
no,
preseason.
well, I mean, Jarrod always likes to do production meetings on air, so I'm trying to figure it out, you know. What do you guys want? You tell us what you want. You want more Swank, Scott, Jarrod, and Ryan, or
Ryan?
less, you know? You
Or
tell us.
less.
But Ryan says, I remember I had an iPhone 4 and I worked at a top supermarket with horrible cell service, and I went outside and my phone had 32 texts from my friends freaking out over this signing. And that's exactly where I was with it. I just remember being at work and all my buddies being like, they're going to do it. They're going to sign him. They're going to blah, blah, blah. It was like probably the first smartphone I ever had, you know, and I was just like, how do I work this thing? And what's going on? Oh my God, tell me. So it was a big deal at the time for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're moving on. Know where we're moving to?
I'm guessing
LBs, baby.
Middle linebacker. Let's go London Fletcher.
Hell yes, sir. Go ahead.
A 5'10", 240 pounds. The guy was a thumper, and I'm sorry, I'm going to say this right away. If Ray Lewis is in the Hall of Fame, London Fletcher should be there.
Ooh.
Name, I'm over the track. Yeah, I said it. What you need to do is get back to.
The problem
I
is,
got you, buddy.
he was quiet, he did his job, and he, at Buffalo, averaged 130 plus tackles every season he was there. He had the C on his chest. He did everything he was supposed to, and because he's 5'10" and he's quiet, he's not in the Pro Bowl. He's not in the Hall of Fame. I think that's ridiculous. The guy did amazing things in St. Louis and Buffalo, Washington when he was there. That's one of those guys that you just feel for, and he deserves a lot more recognition than. Let's do this, guys. Think about this drought. He was part of that defense during the drought, and he had to put up with all these changes happening, whether it was a 3-4 defense, a 4-3 defense coming in. He still had to man everything with all this chaos going around, and he still put up the numbers he did. And London Fletcher, Hall of Fame, first-round ballot. I think definitely for sure, and he's not because he's not as loud as Ray Lewis was.
Ryan Thomas agrees with you. London Fletcher, Hall of Famer. Josh Cook said, this is why I giggled during your deal. Don't forget Fletcher didn't murder anyone.
That too. That puts the Hall of Fame should be like check. He didn't murder anyone.
Let's see. Well, that's 1+ on your column. Also, I didn't get to this, Debbie. I'm sorry. As a newish fan, can you tell me the years these guys played? So, can one of you dudes maybe look up span of years just so we can?
I got it. London Fletcher played from 98 to 2013. He was with Buffalo from 2002 until 2006.
Sweet.
He only played 4 years there.
Uncle James says he wants all meetings on air, so I guess we're going to be an open book. Just air out everything, every meeting we have.
Swank, and with that being said, Pandemonium, you got something you want to tell us? Like you want to see a show that goes a certain way, or you want to show that anything, let us know. This is all about you guys, and we love to have this conversation. If you have some suggestions, we will for sure listen to those suggestions.
Fletcher was 02 to 05, Ryan said.
Yep.
06. Okay.
Yep.
So
he played those 4 years.
So, Scott, when's the first time you made a Pro Bowl? Do you have that up there?
The first time he made a Pro Bowl was 2009 with Washington.
All right. So he went 2009. So he was there from 96. When did he start? 98.
It took him 11 years to make the Pro Bowl.
Yes. So this is a linebacker who's been consistently in the league making plays. At Buffalo, he led the team in tackles, and he was always a great presence, never missed a game. And it took him until well into his career to make his first Pro Bowl. That's just nonsense. He's been underrated his whole career, and this is a guy who doesn't get the recognition. If you just sit back and put tape on and push mute on the video cassette or whatever you're watching and watch him play, there's a no-brainer that he's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best linebackers in that era. No problem. No doubt about it.
I'll go ahead and say this, that is not a reflection of how he played. That is a reflection of where he played. And that is completely true still to this day. When you have a Buffalo Bills team that is in high competition for the top of the AFC for 3 years running, 2-3 years running, and now you're a Super Bowl favorite. And last year, how many Pro Bowlers? How many defense? How many all pros?
0 Pro Bowlers initially and 2 All Pros.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both on the defensive side with the number 1 defense and a runner-up for MVP at the QB position.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and say that the NFL has not caught up to what Buffalo is yet, and they still are prejudiced against people that play in Buffalo.
Name, I'm over the track. Yeah, I said it. What you need to do is get back to...
See, that's what happens when you produce the show. You can just cue it right out just when you want. So, in a perfect transition and segue here, Tony said, what about the Spikes? And I got him up there right now. Takeo Spikes. Boys, of course. Go ahead. Who? Jerry? Jerry, go ahead.
What a mean son of a bitch this guy is, right?
That was the best lead-in line ever, dude. That was so good.
Look, I mean, just look at the face. He was a guy that had a neck bigger than his head, and so did Fletcher. But 4 years with the Buffalo Bills, 2-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro. Again, I think this has to do with what teams he played on. I think he started at Cincinnati and came to Buffalo afterwards. This guy was a wrecking machine, and everybody knew that this guy was somebody you had to game plan against, and yet he still didn't get the recognition because of the teams he was on. I'm glad the Fandemonium, the Bills Mafia, voted for this guy to be the other OLB. He's just a monster. He deserves it. He did good things in Buffalo. He added that fire on that defense. Like I said, that was good throughout the drought. It's just the offense couldn't keep up. But Takeo Spikes, mean. Great addition to this all-drought, all-star team for sure.
See, Takeo played from 98 to 2012. He was with the Bills from 2003 till 2006, so he only played 4 seasons with them. That of which in 2005 he tore his Achilles, and I don't think he was the same since. But the guy he was an animal. He was crazy. He played opposite. He played on the outside linebacker position, opposite of London Fletcher, and yeah, he just brought a part of the game. A mean, nasty, would take on blocks. This guy was awesome.
He's a bad man, you know. I mean, I don't know what else is left to be said. Nobody wanted to be hit by this man. Nobody.
Right.
Era, that again, there's so many, and he's from that same kind of era as like Shobes and all those dudes. Like, it sucks that there was such good talent on that side of the ball, and they just couldn't make it work. But nothing but respect for Mr. Spikes, and even when we had Brandon on the team, that was fun. You know what I mean? Just the connection to bring back all those memories and all that stuff. And he's the man. Really quick, Tony, can you put together a 53-man roster for this year on a show? What do you think will be the 53-man roster? This is an idea that I've actually been meaning to pose to you guys. And I think we should do a show where we do a way too early 53-man roster. And maybe that would be a good one to have our boy Mr. Ryan Thomas on, and we can have a little 4-way discussion about it. Right. So I would encourage everybody, like, we'll pick a date for that show. We had a couple that were lined up, but if you guys are into that, we'll bump it, and we'll get it here in the next couple shows. We are going to have 1 week off the second week of July, right?
Yep.
So that Tuesday we won't have a show. Mark that in your Fandemonium calendars. But we're all going to be on vacation because we pay taxes and we earned it. But yeah, so that's a great idea, and we will do that for
July 12th. July 12th, there will not be an episode.
Yes. I love the way too early 53-man roster. That's a good one.
Yeah. It's fun to do. So now we're gonna go a little more recent. That last linebacker, Mr. Lorenzo Alexander. And if you guys don't mind, I would like to start this one off.
Do it.
This man was a constant, a veteran leader. I loved him when he was in Green Bay. I was glad when he came here. He did nothing but pump this team up. He was a very good transitional player from into the McDermott era. And I think he helped a lot of the people that are on this team find themselves in some way or the other. I don't think it can be understated what this dude did. His body started to give out on him at the end, I think. But he was a blitzing machine. He would wreak havoc in the backfield. He was fun to watch. He was a happy dude. This guy could not have been more Buffalo to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I love him from the depths of my heart. He's still involved in the game. I think he's coaching his sons up. And, he's not afraid to come to Buffalo and help guys out and do all that stuff too. And Lowe is one of those guys that is a bridge the gap drought guy that I think is underrated in our community just because there's so many other people that, like you said, you think of like Aaron Williams, you think of like Freddie Jackson, you think of Stevie, all those guys. Lowe was like one of those dudes that helped get the current regime where they are. Yep. And I really think that we need to put some respect on his name. So I'm so glad that he got voted in for this.
Yeah, the guy played from 2007, 2019. He was the Bills for the last 2 years, 2016 to 2019. And the reason I'm saying all that stuff is just to let everybody know exactly when he played for Buffalo.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys. He was a transition guy for sure. Retired in 2019. That's the Bills already had Taron Johnson in 2018. So I think we went from a big old linebacker to a Taron Johnson the Bills kind of transitioned to the 4-2-5 defensive play now from what Lorenzo Alexander was providing at that that outside linebacker position. 75 tackles a year when he played as an outside linebacker. The amount of sacks he had in his first couple of years here, they bounced him all over the place, kind of what they're doing with Poyer, but mostly Taron Johnson. I think he was definitely a transition player for McDermott to figure out what we can do with that position. But to have a guy like that back in the defense would be awesome. And I think that's what our rookie Terrell Bernard would be doing for us in Buffalo. Yeah, I said it. But it's one of those things that he was a heart guy. He did all the hard work, and his hard work is throughout his career, guys. He started as a defensive tackle weighing at almost 300 or over 300 pounds, and he ended up being a linebacker weight and playing linebacker at a high level that he did. And the guy was just an amazing guy. He is an amazing guy, and just his actions speak louder than words. And he was there for Buffalo. He's there for the right reasons, and he was awesome to watch during those last 16, 17, 2019, 2018 for sure.
Name, I'm over the track. Yeah, I said it. What you need to do.
I gave it to you. I just gave it to you.
There you go.
You guys don't need to call it out though. I'll got you. I got you. Have faith in me. I got you.
You gotta have faith.
13 years in the NFL. So that proves something right there. First and foremost, 13 years. Like you said, he started at the line, then he developed his body to become a linebacker, and that takes hard work. If you look at his career, Washington, Arizona, Oakland, and Buffalo, he finished off in Buffalo. That's where he had his best years in Buffalo. He had his most tackles, most sacks, most everything in Buffalo. So not only did he come here with a veteran aspect to him, but he taught a lot of these younger players. And he was just a good presence, a positive presence. They had him mic'd a couple times throughout his career. He's one of those guys who spoke well and he had nothing bad to say. So he's all around good NFL player. And he's one of those guys that I think the heart speaks loud when you want to vote somebody for this outside linebacker position, and deserving enough. Lorenzo Alexander made it. So I vote for him 10 times again. This guy deserves it. And even after he left, when the Buffalo Bills were making the playoff push, he said, I'm not good for the season, but if you need me in the playoffs, I'll be there.
Yeah.
So, Zoe, I love you.
I got to apologize really fast because I swear to God, I thought he was a Green Bay Packer at one point, and he definitely wasn't. So
that was Bryce Pop. Okay.
Oh, Micah Hyde. That's who I was thinking.
Micah Hyde. There you go.
No, man. Why?
Jordan Poyer was a Cleveland Brown. So
You guys ever had one of those things in your brain where you're like, yeah, I've always seen him that way, and I don't know why. I really don't know.
Go back to every episode before this, and I will say something that's off. It happens.
Swank, remember when I thought
this is the way
Drew
we are.
Brees was still playing?
Yeah, I do remember that. No, I'm not. I mean, this is what it is. I'm sorry if you guys don't like the show because we screw up every once in a while. Like, you might as well just stop watching.
And if you like it because we screw up once in a while,
there it is, man. It's relatable,
tell your friends.
Right? Yeah, tell your friends all about it. No, man, I swear to God, I had it in my head. It's just weird. It's like one of those things. I had it in my head. It's like, yeah,
it's one of those
Green Bay Packer, man. Absolutely, Green Bay
Packer. Goes through.
Because I try not to say things unless I'm like pretty sure. And blew that
Look
one.
at that.
Blew
Look
it.
at that. Look at that.
All right. This next guy. CB.
CB number 1.
Guys, I'm loving our CBs. Antoine Winfield, Nate Clements, man, that is a gross secondary right there. What do we lead off with?
Favorite Nate Clements play ever.
I think we're all going to
see
agree.
over and over again.
Tom Brady rolling out to the right.
It's back when Tom Brady played for the Green Bay Packers, and Nate
He actually
Clements
mentioned that. He
blew
actually
him
mentioned
up.
that during the golf tournament that they had with Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen. He brought that up.
Tom Brady did?
Yeah, Tom Brady brought
wow.
that segment up.
During one of the interviews.
Yeah, he took a hard hit, but he got right up. Give that props to Tom Brady.
That's why I think they should cut that video after he pops up. They should just end
Leave
it
him on
when
the
it gets
ground.
leveled. Yeah. That's probably where that vendetta against Buffalo came from. Nate Clements cleaned his clock for him, and
He sure did.
yeah, then he spent the next 20 years making us hate him.
Well, Nate, he was drafted by the Bills and played the 2001 and 2006 season, and he was an awesome corner during that whole time. His time with Buffalo, he had 23 interceptions. The guy had 70 plus tackles every year he was with Buffalo, which is really good numbers for a corner. Good size, 6 foot, 205 pounds. He was one of those guys that was teamed up with Antoine Winfield. We might hear his name later. I thought he was amazing. San Francisco also offered him a big contract. You go where the money takes you, and then Cincinnati had him until 2012. But Nate Clements was one of my favorites for sure. He had the size, the speed. It was just amazing to watch him. And remarkably enough, he only made one Pro Bowl, which is crazy to me. One of those Ohio State guys that came up through that system at that time, and he was pretty wonderful.
Was that Pro Bowl with us?
That Pro Bowl was with us. Yes,
Yeah, it was with
because-
us in 2004.
I was going to say, you were going to prove my Buffalo point there. But
Well, that year when he made the Pro Bowl, I'm just looking at the numbers here. He had 6 interceptions, 80 tackles almost. Yeah, he had a good season.
Uncle
Great
James
season.
says he was a Buckeye.
Okay.
Yep, he was a Buckeye, and
Ohio
so was
State.
Antoine Winfield. This is when the Bills were obsessed with Buckeye corners.
Well, let's just
Ashton
go right
Yabudi,
into
remember
Antoine.
him?
Go on.
Ashton Yabudi was
yes, I
one,
do.
too.
Yeah. I liked him, man. He actually, I think he was one of the first guys that liked something of mine on social media that was a Bills guy, and I was just like, Yabudi. All right, we're on Antoine Winfield. Go ahead, boys. Jerry, what do you got, Jerry?
Antoine Winfield. He is one of those guys who didn't have a huge stature, but I tell you what, when he got a hold of you, you were going down. He was a great tackler, great coverage man. Buffalo Bills for 3 years, I think, if I'm reading this correctly. 3-time Pro Bowler, number 26. He made plays. If you could see in the pedigree, his son now plays for the NFL. But this guy was known for, like the Taron Johnsons, making tackles, and he was a beautiful guy to have over on the CB. He made some great plays. Love watching him play man up. He wasn't like the biggest guy, but like I said right off the bat, if you wanted a tackle on the sweep, I don't think he ever missed one. So it's no wonder why Antoine Winfield made that. He's one of my favorites to watch back in the drought. He was very consistent and on those good defenses. And you know when you saw his body flying up, that he was going to make that tackle.
Yeah, for sure. Played 5 years for Buffalo, 9 years with Minnesota. Didn't receive any of those accolades until he was Minnesota, 3-time Pro Bowler and All-Proer, a second team. But, his contract year for Buffalo, he had like 110 tackles. The guy was all over the place. And like Jarrod said, he was a sure tackler. You could not get away from him. So he didn't have a lot of interceptions, but man-to-man defense was pretty amazing. He played zone well. And he's one of my favorites all time, 5'8", 180 pounds, small guy, represented the small guys in the NFL for sure.
One of my favorites at the time, and I gotta say, I love our jerseys right now. I love the white. I love the way they're set up, that like slight throwback. But the boxy dark blue with the red helmet, this is the first time you're gonna hear me say it right now. God, it looks so good right now. Like that picture of him, I do. And it's, obviously it hits a special spot in my heart, but I was so sick of the red helmets. And then when they changed them to like those Marchand, like darker blue,
with the light.
And it's like that updated kind of like modern font for the number. I don't know. It just didn't do anything for me, and it didn't help that we weren't winning anything. But that throwback '90s shit, that hits me right in the heart, man. I wouldn't mind one game. I'd go for it. This is the first time you hear me say it.
First one? The first one?
No, not the first one.
No. Got a lot of people that don't like those throwbacks, but I'm looking at it right now. He's got that robot face mask. Got the old school Buffalo Bills red. Those were simple but sick.
Yeah.
Kudos to Antoine Winfield too. He played 13 years, I think, in the league. 2 teams.
Yep.
Nice.
So the teams he played with, he committed to, and you know how money is nowadays. Got to give him credit. He was a tackle machine, never missed one, I don't think, like I said, and he's a great Buffalo Bill, and I'm glad the Fandemonium Mafia voted for this guy.
Hell
for sure.
Yeah. So we're going into safeties. We got 2 names left on this list. We're not doing too bad. We're only 7 minutes over.
There you go.
I'm going to tell you what.
Overtime!
I think that this guy that the Fandemonium voted in, and you guys say what you want either way, I think this dude's super underrated. I think that when he left, I really wanted him to be here. I wanted to see him in the system. It wasn't going to fit, whatever, but he was one of these dudes that I thought was one of the best draft picks that the Bills ever picked up, and that is Mr. Jarrod Byrd.
Yep. He picked up in the second round in the 2009 draft. The guy led his rookie year with 9 interceptions and still did not win the defensive rookie of the year, which he came in second.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead and say it. Why?
He did because he played for the Buffalo Bills, not the
Name, I'm over the track. Yeah, I said it. What you need to do is get.
You don't get 9 interceptions as a rookie, only starting in 11 of those games, having almost 50 tackles as a safety. And how? The safety position is not one of those positions where you fall into the responsibility. You're like the captain back there. You're responsible for that deep half or whatever it is. And for him to get that many interceptions as rookie year, ball hawk is a name. A lot of those were tip passes, all that stuff. But he continued to do it. Pro Bowl year 2012, 2013. He played from 2009 to 2013. He deserves a lot more credit as a Buffalo Bill, and the money talked, and New Orleans signed him. That's what happened. New Orleans got him in 2014 for cha-ching.
Yeah.
He was in the running for Defensive Rookie of the Year. He lost to Brian Cushing's Houston Texans linebacker by a landslide, 39 to 6.
And that guy's a dick. Watch his videos. That's right, Brian. I called you a dick.
He's the one that headbutt, right? Didn't he headbutt somebody and get a bloody head?
His own teammate.
Yeah.
There's video of him, the running back named Blue, that he would try to intimidate. Dude, he's your teammate. Chill out, man. Just lay off the roids.
Yeah.
But like I said, Defensive Player of the Year, second runner-up, Pro Bowl once, All-Pro twice, and Pro Bowler 3 times, I think, total. Is that what you said, bro?
Rookie year in 2012 and 2013 in the Pro Bowl.
So, yeah, Dad's got his jersey hanging up right up in his closet. He's a guy that my dad enjoyed playing. And like Scott said, right off the bat, he made, like Henry Jones. I don't know if you guys remember Henry Jones. Yeah. He was in the running for free safety. He was the guy I picked. He had a Buffalo Bills rookie record for interceptions, I believe. But no, Jarrod Byrd came right in. He made an impact very quickly, Jarrod Byrd. And 9 interceptions. I mean, that's something that in 11 games he started. You can't say anything else but greatness for that rookie year. Mm-hmm. He was consistent for the Bills, and he was there. He always made plays. Again, he was on a defense that the Bills had that always was there on Sundays. We just had to rely on the offense to make some plays, but they never did. Jarrod Byrd, number 31. He had a nice little helmet there, the robot helmet. He was a good guy to watch. I enjoyed watching him too.
Yeah, he was fun, man. But I'm going to say, not as fun as the last player on our defensive draft dream team, Drought, D-Day, Destinated, Drama. Whatever other D word you want. Mr. Buffalo himself, this is why our podcasts get, explicit. labels on it. Fuck Jarvis Landry. That's what this is.
Yeah, we got knocked for that before too, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Jarvis Landry is an asshole.
Fuck him. Aaron Williams.
Asshole.
Aaron Williams. One of the saviors of the drought, in my mind. The best dude. The most rootable dude. There for the Mafia. 100% still there for the Mafia. Would love to get him on the show sometime. Jarrod and I were talking about that earlier. Aaron Williams. What do you guys got?
Can I start with him?
Lead the way.
Do it.
I want to let Scott lead the way because Aaron Williams is Scott's favorite Buffalo Bill player on defense. He has his jersey. He wears it every chance he can get. I don't know why I want to jump in here, but I just want to let everyone know. Scott, this is your guy. You lead the way.
Dude, I
Sorry.
saw he played for the Texas Longhorns. I saw the potential in him. This is when I first started watching like college players to figure out how they would scout and who the Bills would get. And I wanted the Bills to get him in the first round. The Bills ended up getting him in the second round with the 34th pick overall. He started as a corner, which is a position I thought he could exceed well for Buffalo. The guy was a ball hawk. He had the speed, he had the strength, he had the talent. He's one of those guys that the whole Jarvis Landry thing, and I think it was 2015. A lot of people say it wasn't the beginning of his injuries. He tried coming back in 2016, only played 7 games, and he just couldn't do it because of that hit. It was cheap. But he's one of my favorite all-time players. The guy didn't get a lot of interceptions, but he was a team captain. Jackson loved him. Freddie Jackson loved him, and they had a relationship. The guy was nothing but Buffalo, everything the Bills needed. He was drafted in 2001. We're 11 years later, and I think, honestly, he would still be ripping apart defensive backs and ripping apart wide receivers off the boundaries, playing either the Hyde or Poyer role still as a Buffalo Bill. This is a guy I believe that should still be playing in the NFL. He took care of his body, did all the right things. He played the position the way it was supposed to be played, and it still pisses me off every time I see Jarvis Landry running around his shitty ass patterns and his slow ass speed, knowing that one of my favorite players in the NFL could potentially still be playing, and I could wear his jersey to the game, and I don't get emotional about players, and I'm an offensive guy, but this Aaron Williams guy does it, and it just because he played the position so well and he represented that Buffalo Bills defense and that Buffalo Bills team so well, and I'm pissed that he's not playing still. He could be.
He had the heart. He had the skill. I mean, he was a lovable player from the time he came here to the time he left.
Yep.
We always joke around about every year there's a mayor of Buffalo. And actually, I was thinking about making this a show too. Who the hell is the mayor of Buffalo right now? Because every one of those dudes loves Buffalo. You know, it's harder to pick it out. Like, you can go back a couple years and say, like, Deion Dawkins, he fills that role. Lorenzo filled that role. Go back, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Stevie Johnson,
Freddie Jackson, Aaron Williams.
Kyle Williams. There's, like, these dudes that, like, rise. Horrible Harry, who just came back to do a nice benefit in Buffalo. There's dudes that stand out. Whether they're like all-star players or not, they stand out. And I would argue that Aaron Williams, the year that Freddie Jackson left, he was Mr. Buffalo. He was the mayor of Buffalo. He was the dude that everybody that was championing for this team was behind. So I think it's bullshit. I think his career got cut short. You can say whatever you want. I think it's a travesty that Jarvis didn't really get anything more than a slap on the wrist over all that cheap shit. And he's done it again since. So whatever. Anybody can say whatever they want about that dude. To me, he'll always be a scumbag. And you can't change my mind. So I'm sorry. I love all you guys, but you can't change my mind. So anyway, Aaron Williams, man. What a great way to end this whole defensive draft that we had. That Fandemonium voted on your damn self, and it was great and super fun. I was thinking, like, special teams. We probably should have done some special teams, right?
We could probably nail that right off. Ryan Lindell and Brian Mormon. There it is.
Oh, wow.
And your
know.
man,
I don't know
Roscoe
if
Parrish.
I agree with that. No.
Ryan Lindell, Brian Mormon, Roscoe Parrish. There you go. There's our roster.
And that's why we didn't do the poll, because that's who the three dudes are.
Yeah.
Long snapper?
You know, who would it be? Dan Burrows.
Reed Ferguson. He's been here for a while. He's a great guy. He's still here on the team now. So let's put him on there. Long snapper Reed Ferguson.
There you
Was
go.
he there? 2016?
That's
Dan
it.
Burrows, Jarrod. Dan Burrows, the magician. He's there. There you go.
Let's see. Reed Ferguson. He has been here since 2016.
16. So this qualifies, right?
By a year? Barely?
Yeah. If he's on the roster 2016.
Yeah, he was. I'll tell you what, he's one of those guys that I really want to reach out to try and get on the show. I think he would be fun to talk to. Spencer Brown is another dude that is on my wish list.
Yeah.
You know?
Reed Ferguson and his brother have a podcast that I listen to often.
There you go.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So to be able to get him on. You know how he asked people for golf a couple days ago? I threw him a message. He's like, if anybody needs a fourth, send me a message. I was like, we need the fourth on our podcast for Tuesday.
Nothing. Crickets.
That's not golf.
Reed, we still love you.
Oh, man. Tony was asking, has anybody signed Jarvis? Not to my knowledge, and hopefully they don't. I keep hearing that Cincinnati is in the mix for Odell. That would be something, I guess. Maybe. I don't know.
That'd be interesting.
Jarvis Landry says the team that he's playing for right now is New Orleans Saints.
Might be.
Oh, that's right. He did get signed down there. Yeah.
So
That's unfortunate.
Yep.
But who's he going to get the ball thrown? Jameis? So every third ball that he gets thrown his way will get intercepted. That'll be good.
There you go. And anyone in that division, keep your head on a swivel. The NFC North, NFC South teams, keep your head on a swivel because he's going to cheap shot you.
Yeah.
Anyways,
hey Paulette, she just tuned in. Good to see you.
what's up, Paulette?
She's
Paulette.
over on Facebook. She must be on her phone. We had a little trouble with Facebook earlier. So, guys, great time, great show. Everybody out there in the Fandemonium comment land, thanks so much for participating. Sorry for the little technical difficulties we had in the beginning, but it was a great night, and we love being here. We love doing this, and let's roll out with some final thoughts. Jerry, Jarrod, Jeister, the J-Man, Jarrod Reed. What's up, buddy?
Jay Rizzle.
again, Fandemonium, thanks for participating tonight. And like Swank said, we had some technical difficulties, but that doesn't matter. Swank and Scott, but we like talking football to you guys as well. So join in. Yeah, what a great night. I'm going to keep pushing for Mr. Kent Hall and Steve Tasker to make that Pro Bowl. Those 49 voters.
Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Hall of Fame. Those 49 people voting in the Hall of Fame need to recognize that Steve Tasker, the best 7-time All-Pro on special teams. How can you ignore that? Kent Hall led the Buffalo Bills to 4 Super Bowls, leading that offensive line at the center positions. You can't ignore that. Get those guys there. Vote, vote, vote. And, I can't wait to see you guys next Tuesday. And as always, go Bills.
Hey guys,
Nicely
keep an eye out for some posts we're going to put out. We're doing over and under next week, so we're going to put out some over and under stats. Whether you think the Josh Allen's going to throw over or under 45-yard touchdown passes, it's one of those things. That's going to be next week's show.
Thought you were going to say yards there.
Yards, 45 yards. I hope so.
I'm going to take the over.
I'm going to keep it simple tonight.
Is there money involved?
Thoughts and prayers go to the Pagula family. It's a private thing. We keep it private. We don't need to dig for answers here. All we know is that something's going on with Kim, and we pray that for a healthy recovery of whatever's going on. So the Pagula family, thoughts and prayers for sure.
Boys, ladies, gentlemen, thanks so much for participating in Season 3, Episode 13 of the K-Gun Report. We had a really great time. All these polls, all these different opinions, and putting these teams together. And it's really hard to try to put some of this stuff like together to make it entertaining or interesting or worth talking about. But obviously we did it because we went 20 minutes over. So, you know, it's a good time. And even with the difficulties, and who cares, man? You can catch us any Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook Live, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. And we encourage you to go follow, like, subscribe, do all that stuff, comment around, share with your friends, share with everybody except your ex-wife or ex-husband, Jarrod. And you can also catch the audio on Spotify, Anchor, or Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. Keep an eye out for the Rager. I did not forget, we're circling back around. The regular season Rager coming out this September. We're going to have a great time locally, Reinvention Brewery. There's going to be super fans. There's going to be a live show by us. There's going to be raffle giveaways. There's going to be all sorts of crazy stuff. A beer release. You're not going to want to miss it, man.
A food truck, maybe?
Food truck, maybe? There'll be food there. There's going to have to be food there.
Yeah.
So, guys, thanks so much. We love you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Go Bills.
Go Bills!
Go Bills!
Go
This is a dangerous group